Hello all, my name is Abdul Rahman, and in this video we are going to complete our to-do list table onto our website. So if you remember in the last video, there we have created the database. So first of all, I am going to open this one. So we have this to-do.db. So this is the database that I have created in the last video. So first of all, I'm going to open my web browser. So in this video I'm going to use the Jinja2 templating. So if you don't know, I'm going to talk about what is Jinja2 templating. Jinja is a web template engine for the Python programming language, and Jinja is similar to the Django template engine but provides Python like expressions while ensuring that the templates are evaluated in the sandbox. Okay, so first of all, if you remember in the last video, there I have used a website known as SQLite viewer. So I'm going to open that onto our browser. So I'm going to open this browser, and it's taking some time. I have opened this one. Okay, it's taking here. Okay. So now I'm going to open like SQLite viewer. So I have opened this. Now I'm going to click on this one. So I'm going to open this file explorer here. So I have stored that in the code, and here also I have the Flask web development. Okay, so now I am going to move this one to here, and as you can see here, so these are 21. So these are all of these stuff that I have added onto, which I have added onto our database. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to run this program like python app.py, and then I'm going to press tab. So I'm not going to get no module named. So here we are getting like no module name Flask from Flask SQLAlchemy. So we are getting some error. So, okay, so now why we are getting, so I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to paste this one here. Okay, now solve no module named Flask. Okay, so here we don't want this one. Okay, so this is the one. So now I'm not able to, we are getting, so it's saying really install Flask SQLAlchemy. It looks like, so we've installed Flask SQLAlchemy. I have to install something like this. Okay, so now I'm going to give here like pip install flask dash SQLAlchemy. So it's taking some time. Let's see whether it's installing or not. Now first of all, let's see here there. Okay, so we have, so in the last video we have installed only pip install. Okay, so the problem is that we have not activated our virtual environment actually. Okay, so now I'm going to uninstall this pip uninstall un. Okay, and then I'm going to, yes, I'm going to press it, yes, not this one. Okay, so I'm going to do this again because if something is there. Okay, so now I'm going to activate this environment. So I'm going to give something like, where was this? So I was having this pip install Flask. Okay, so I have to do this, activating something like this. So I'm going to use this env slash scripts here also, env slash env tab, then scripts, then tab. I'm going to use the activate tab ps1. So now we need ps1. Now I'm going to open this one and I'm going to install the pip install. I'm going to install the, what we say, Flask SQLAlchemy. So flask Flask SQLAlchemy, something like this. So it's taking some time for, so it's showing me something like this. Now what I want to do is I'm going to run this one python app.py. so we are not getting any error, so we have not been activated this one. So now what I want to do is, as I said you, I want to keep all of this onto our website. So I'm going to open 127, this one. So here I want to keep all of this stuff here in this table. So first of all, for doing that, I'm going to minimize this one and I'm going to just not close. Let's keep something like this itself. So first of all, okay, now first of all, I'm going to show you how we can do that in the terminal. So I want to show all of the stuff onto our terminal. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down here and okay. So here instead of products, let's give something like hello. Is it having anything? No. Okay, HELLO, hello. And then in the below the products, I'm going to give you something like what we say, all to do. Okay, all to do. Okay, and if all to do, I'm going to give this one in the capital, and I'm going to give this end and equals, if all to do is equals to, then I'm going to give here something like TODO to do dot QUERY query dot all, something like this. And I'm going to give here print, I'm going to give here all to do, something like this. Okay, so now I'm going to, it's reloading. Now if I go to our website and if I reload this page, nothing has happened, but it's going to show me, wait, sorry, I have to go here like /PRODOCTS products, sorry, I have to go here itself, I have to go here HELLO, hello. So if I'm going to minimize this. Okay, so as you can see here, we are getting this like the first to do, the second to do, so we are getting all of this stuff in this one. So now if you remember in the last video, here I have used a def dunder ripper. So I have used this because if I otherwise I'm not going to get all of this stuff, something like this, like first to do, and I'm not going to get all of this stuff, something like this. But now I want to show this stuff onto our website, right? So for that, I'm going to make this one some smaller, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this below this one. Okay, so now I'm going to use all to do is equals to do dot query dot all. So now, so before this one, I want to show you one more thing, and that is if I open here some extensions, there will be option like extensions. So I'm going to use here, type here something like Jinja2 like, okay, so this is the one, Jinja2 Snippet okay, this is the one. So now you have to install this. I'm going to show you, for example, if you are now, as I said, I'm going to use the Jinja2 template. Okay, so for doing Jinja2, we don't need to install this, but each and every time we have to type like jblock, we have to type all of this stuff if we want to type. But if Jinja2 snippet kit install, then we have to type something like jblock, then press enter. We are going to get all of this stuff in here. Okay, so I'm going to install this one, so which is pretty much useful. So you can also install this one. So now let's remove this one. Now here, so sometimes we'll be getting some option like what we say, and reload required, something like that. So if you are getting that one, click on that, then the VS Code will be reloaded, then we can use. So I'm not right now, I'm not going to get that one. Okay, so now I have closed this one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is like onto our index.html, I'm going to scroll this down, and first of all I want to this one, hello, 0. So first of all, I want to remove these names like Mark, Jacob, and I'm going to remove all of this stuff from our website. Okay, so now first of all, I'm going to scroll down here. So instead of this serial number, I have this serial number, and here I'm going to give something like title, title, not this one. So instead of this one, I'm going to give it the content, 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 and instead of this one, this handle I want to remove, and here I want to give something like time. So I want to keep this mark OTT, I want to keep, so I'm going to remove this from here to here. Let's see, control minus. So I'm going to remove this stuff from here. So I'm going to remove this one, and okay, so anyhow, so now I'm going to keep this one, I'm going to remove this one right now. So now we have something like scope, we have all of this stuff. So below the T body, okay, so below this T body, here I am going to use the Jinja2 template. Okay, so for that, below this T body I am going to use something like J for if I enter this, something like this, we are not going to type all of these stuff here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press here something like Control X. So 1 2 3, I'm going to Control X, and then so instead of this one, for I'm going to give here something like, okay, so now for I'm going to give here for to do, okay, for to do, and then for to do in I'm going to give you something like all to do's, something like this. Okay, so for to do in all to do's, and then here I am going to give something like paste this one, and I'm going to remove this one, Control X, and I'm going to paste that one here below this one, and I'm going to remove this one also, Control, and I'm going to paste this one here somewhere here, something not here. Okay, so here I was modifying, so here I have given something like this, so I have given like end for, so now I don't want these lines, now I'm going to remove, I'm going to save this one. So now we have all of this stuff. So instead of mark, I don't know, so I don't want this right now. So first of all, let's see this one later on. Now I'm going to make this one some bigger, some more. So I was not having this much, but I made this right now. Okay, so now instead of this mark, I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to use here the flower braces, and then instead of this I'm going to use like to do, and then to do dot title, and instead of this auto, and I'm going to give here this one. So in this one I'm going to give here to do dot description, and I'm going to remove this two times here also, and here I'm going to give something like to do dot and DATE. So I should get here something like to do dot, I should get what we say date. Let's see here what I have given. So I have given like title, description, so subscribe to my channel. Okay, so we have given the title, date created. Okay, so date created, and then in the apps.py here I am going to give something like, as I have copied this, I am going to remove this one, and here I am going to give something like all to do, something like this. Okay, so now I think I'm going to run this, so it's going to work. So we have this date created, we have all of this stuff. So now let's make this one here itself. Okay, and I'm going to go here and remove this one again, so it should be side by side. So now first of all, let's reload our page. We are getting a render takes one positional argument, but two were given render template. Okay, here I'm going to, so we have this index.html. I have given here something like index dot, so it's saying is in the render template I have given here two things, but one can be given, but I think we can give here, but I have done some error. So let's give, what if we give all TODO, all to do, okay, and then now let's reload this page. As you can see here, we are getting the something like this. So that's what I want, but I want to get here something like serial. I want to get all of this content that I have seen here, so I want to get all of this stuff onto our website, something like that, okay. So for that, what I have to give here is, wait a second, let's go on to this, let's give this one as it is. I'm going to go here and I'm going to give here something like /hello. Hello. So if I go again now, I'm not good as I'm getting, okay, so here I'm getting this one. So if I remove this and press here enter, so nothing is happening. So it should have something like what we say. So I should do some actions there. So first of all, I'm going to go on to our what we say here, VS Code and to-do.query.all. so I have this one, and print to do render template, I have this one. So I want to show all of those stuff onto our website, so I'm going to reload. So now let's open our VS Code here, and now I'm going to make this some smaller, and here, so we are not getting that one, right? So for to do, let's check all of this stuff. Okay, so here for to do, in all to do's we are getting, so we don't want this one. Now I am going to reload this page, okay, not a reload, it's already been reloaded I think. So now, okay, so as you can see here, we are getting the first we are getting all of these stuff here, okay. So now as you can see here, we are getting like 1 1 1 1 1. I am getting all of this stuff, but I want these like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I want to get something like this, okay. So for that I am going to open this VS Code, and here instead of this one, let's give here something like where it is, let's give here, and I think okay, now I'm going to use this again. So something, let's give here something like NO, and then I'm going to use there this one. Let's wait a second. Okay, so now here I am going to use something like to do.sno serial number, okay, and then now I am going to reload this page. So we have 1 1 1. Now let's check. Okay, so now we have 30 1 2 3 4. We are getting all of this stuff, but the problem with this 1 2 3 we are getting here is that here I have like 1 2, we have all of this stuff, but from all of this one, if I delete one thing, one row, then I am going to get like 14 15 16 17 18, then I'm not going to get the 19, then I'm going to get 20. So if someone sees this one, then they are going to say like this is waste of something, they don't like this one. So okay, so for that I have searched a thing like how to do incremental, something like that. So how to do that one, okay. So for that what we have to do is, here I have to give something like loop dot index. I have to give, okay, index. I have searched on the Google, and then I am going to reload this page, and so nothing is happening because we are not able to see anything like, so nothing is happening because nothing is deleted on our website. So that's why I have given here like where it is here, sorry, okay, so that's why I have given here something like loop.index. So this is the way, if someone's delete that one, then something is going to happen there, okay. So now what I'm going to do is like here where it is, let's search for that one, and okay, so here we have add a to do here, something like this, right? So now what I want to do is I want to get that something like buttons and all of those stuff. So for that I'm going to give you something like action, okay, and then in the action if I give something like this one, and if I press here, not this one, I don't want this to be here. So, okay, so now action, I have to give some buttons, and then method, I am going to use this one. So here I am going to use the method, sorry, where it is, yeah, okay. So here I am going to use something like method is equals to the post. Okay, so now if I open this, let's open the get bootstrap.com, and let's check the where it is. So we are not getting, let's check the docs, examples, icons. Okay, so we are getting this icon. So now I want to, let's get bootstrap, let's give like 5.0, it was something, I don't know. Okay, so we have all of this stuff here. So now I'm going to click on this docs. Okay, so now I want to customize this, and I want to search for the buttons. We have introduction, this getting started, list layout. I should search for the buttons in these ones, components, I think. Okay, buttons, so we have the buttons. Okay, so buttons, let's open this, and I'm going to open these two things. Okay, so now we have a lot of buttons, like we have this dark, this light, so we have all of these buttons we can use, but I don't want this one. And let's check this one, what it is here. Okay, something like this, so they are, so I don't want this one to be here. Let's check submit, I want something, this some small buttons, so we have this small button, let's use block. Okay, and here we have buttons. So right now what I want to do is like, okay, so now what I want some buttons is like, for example, as you can see here, the copy button. So as you can see here, it's getting the white in color, but when I'm putting the cursor, when I am moving the cursor onto this copy button, then here I am getting this into the blue. So like that only, I also want something like that, like I want to show in the white, and then if I put the cursor on that one, on that button, I should get that onto the black color, something like that. So let's leave that one, and let's make, oh, where it is here, so let's make this submit button into the, what we say, into the action. So that's what we are doing from the time. So let's search for the buttons later on. So first of all, I'm going to open this one, and I'm going to open this app.py. So here we have all of this stuff, but in the, what we say, hello world, here itself. So below the hello world, I am going to pass a request here. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you something like if, then a request I'm going to give request, if request dot, if request is not this one. Okay, so if request is equals to the post, and then I want to print is like, no, I have done some mistake here, I have to give this one, and now I should get print something like this, post st. So what happens is, if I click on the submit button, then okay, so I think it's not running our virtual environment, so it's activated, but let's give python lab.py, and then I'm going to press tab, and then if I press enter, it's running. So now what I want is, if I reload this page, so now let's go back. So here we are, so here I'm getting some error, let's leave this one. So here it's getting print post. So now, okay, so we don't have request is imported. So now I'm going to give here something like req request. So now we are not going to get any errors. So now what I wanted to do here is like, if I click on the submit button here onto our, where it is, okay, so if I click on the submit button, then I should get in the terminal something like post, something like this. So now let's reload this page. Now click, so method not allowed. So here we have done something like, okay, so I have done some mistake here. Let's see this, what's happening here. Okay, so now let's make this one. Okay, so now where it is, okay, so request, so here I have to give something like method. Okay, and one more thing I have to do here is like, beside this, let's take in some space, let's move, and okay, so now I'm going to give here the comma, and then here I'm going to pass here the request. So method, okay, empty method. Okay, so if the method is equals to, and in the square brackets I'm going to give in the quotation marks like get, okay, and I don't want this, I want this one, comma again, I'm going to give something like post, post, I'm going to give something like this, and here it's given something like this. Now let's reload our page. Now let's wait a second. So here we are getting some error like request dot method we have given, and we have given something like print post. Okay, so here we have the def hello world if request dot method is equals to, okay, so now let's wait a second. Instead of post, I'm going to do this again. So python app.py, so it's getting some got an expected keyword argument method, so it's getting me the error in the what they say. Let's go back. Now I want to do is I want to delete this, and then I'm going to open this again. So now it's already activated. Right now I'm going to type here like python, not this one, python app.py. Now we are getting some error here. So here we are getting errors in the def hello world line number 20, and we are getting the errors in the def hello world. Let's wait a second. So here I have given something like method. So now I should give here like, if I give here something like methods, and if I run this again, let's see. Now it's running. So the error was with the s. So with the module s, if request dot methods I have to give. So I have given. So we have given method. If we give method, then I have to give one thing only, like get or post. Only one thing from both of these. But I have given like method is equals to what we say get and then post. So now what I have to do is methods. If I give, so here we are giving something like get, and then we are giving post. So that's why I have to give something like methods. So now what I want is, if I click on this button submit and no attribute, we are getting some error. If request dot, right now we are getting the error again. So wait a second. Okay, so if the request is equals if request dot method is equals to, wait a second, okay, let's remove this time. Okay, so it was happening. Oh, now I understood. Like here we have methods. So now instead here I should get something like if request dot method is equals to board. So here we are using only one method. Now let's do one thing. Let's click reload this. Now click on the submit button. So now I'm getting this one. Okay, so we are getting that one. Now I want to show it clearly right now. Python app.py, and then if I click on this button submit, and if I give here, okay, so as you can see here, so I was testing that this button has come into action or not. So I was checking that out, that is it working, this button is working or not. So as I said, as we saw here, so this button is working. So as you know, here we have used a request method. So if request dot method, and we have given like print post. So if it's working, then if I click on that button, then there I should get something like post, something like that. Okay, now let's do one thing. If I go onto this page, and if I give here something like title title, and if I submit, nothing happened. Okay, so let's give title, and here also I think I should get title. Nothing is happening. I think I should type title title 1234 title 1234 submit. So nothing has happened. So I think, wait a second. So whenever we are doing that one, so here I think I should get here some error. We are title 3434 nothing is happened. Okay, so now I'm going to give again title 3434, and I'm going to give you, I'm going to give this one, and then I'm going to give title 3434 something. So here, when I checked here, so here we should get some error. So now if I give there some title, then we should get there some errors, something like that. It should happen. So one more thing I have to do in the index.html, as I said, I want to remove this drop down. Okay, so first of all, I am going to make this one some smaller and search for the drop down. So here we were having this another action. So we have in this one, let's make this one drop down, so something else. So we have all of these options. So if you want this drop down, you can keep it, but okay, wait a second. Okay, so now instead of there we were getting no error. So now let's do a thing. Now if I type here something like what we say, instead of this, let's type a post, and here I should type something like this. So we are not going to happen anything now. Okay, so now below this one we were not doing something. So instead of this post, I'm going to give you something like request. I'm going to pass here the request, and then I'm going to give you a form. So I'm going to tell this later on that I say why I'm giving here the request dot form, something like this. So now I'm going to give the request dot form, and then I'm going to give a title, title, request dot form dot title, and we have print, we have all of this stuff. Now wait a second, let's give you something. Okay, so we have done this title 123, then 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Oh, so that's what I want to see here. So could not understand this title. So that's what I want to see here. Like, so I have done something, some errors there. So okay, so now if I give you a title, then here we are getting some errors. Okay, so the reason behind this is that if I come here where it is, that's below the what we say, we have this to do description. Okay, so below the to do description here, so now I want to show you button type, we have submit. Okay, so now if I show here like, okay, so in the button primary we have the submit. Okay, so now I want to give here something like input type text we have, and class form control id description. So here I should get something like what we say form control. Okay, now I'm going to give name. Okay, so in the name I should give here something like description, desc. Okay, and then if I save this one, and now let's do this again. Okay, okay, so now let's give here something like title 1 2 3 4, and here also I should get something like 1 2 3 4. So still we are getting this error this time. So now wait a second. Okay, so now let's take again. So here we have the name, and okay, let's take here name is equals to then title. Okay, so now let's reload. Okay, so okay, let's wait a second. So now I'm going to open the terminal. Here we are not getting anything. Let's open this Python app. So now wait a second. Okay, so now let's take again. So here we have the name, and okay, let's take here name is equals to then title. Okay, so now let's reload. Okay, so okay, let's wait a second. So now I'm going to open the terminal. Here we are not getting anything. Let's open this Python app, this one python app.py run server, not run server. Okay, so now I'm going to reload this page. Okay, so still we are getting error, means that, so instead of this one I'm going to give you a title, and that's it. Okay, so again wait a second, I'm going to do this again. So python app.py, now it will come. still we are getting the error in this one. Now, so now we have the title, and instead of this one like print, we have if request dot method. I have this stuff. Now wait a second, I'm going to do that one. So I'm going to solve this anyhow. Let's open this page here. So instead of this one, I'm going to give here the title. Okay, wait. I'm going to search for this error. We have I've copied, and then I'm going to paste that one here itself. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Now here in the index.html, instead of this title, let's give name itself. Okay, and name will be better in this place. And now what I'm going to do is onto our website, onto our this page. Here we have other lot of stuff like this print. We have other lot of stuff, this type of stuff. That's what I was saying you. Okay, so here we are getting something like request.meth form, and we are getting something request.form. Now let's reload here, control C, and python app.py. Now we should not get any error. Now okay, so we have opened this. So now I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to close this one. Now let's open this, and here I'm going to give something like title1234. Here also same thing, title1234. Now let's click on the submit button. So now we are not getting any error. Now okay, so now I think we have done. So the page, it was not my error. So here we are getting something like title 1234. Now what I want to do is here I want to remove this all of this stuff like first to do link, subscribe to my channel. I want to remove this one, and remember, so instead of this one here, what I want to do is like I want to remove this stuff. And here first of all, let's remove this all of this stuff, and instead of this one I'm going to give title. Okay, and title is equals to request, request, and title is equals to request dot form. Okay, and in this one I'm going to give here something like title, something like this. So I'm going to give here something control D, not this one. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste that one here. So instead of this title, I'm going to give here something like DESC. So I have made this in the type of a variable. So now what I'm going to do here is like instead of this title, here I want to give something like DESC description, and I'm going to make this some tab. Here this one I'm going to make tab. Okay, now so DESC request form, and instead of this first to do, I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to give here something like title, and I don't want this subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to remove this, and instead of this one I'm going to give here something like DESC. Now let's reload our page. Okay, so now okay, now let's give my name, and I'm going to give something like ABDUL something like this. Now let's check whether it's added. As you can see here, title 1234 is also added, and my name is also added right now. So now what I want to do is I want to remove all of this stuff like subscribe to my channel. I don't want all of this stuff. I want to remove all of this stuff. How we can remove this? So what we can do is, the best thing that we can do is we can delete the we can delete the database. Okay, so for that one I'm going to open this one with this database file, and I'm going to open the code, and in this one itself. Okay, so we have this to do dot, okay, escape. I'm going to delete. So now I'm going to close this one. So first of all, let's create this one again. So here I'm going to let's open one more PowerShell again. Okay, so here instead of this one I'm going to give you something like python. Okay, now let's check for this one, control C, X. I want to exit again, exit. Now I want to check for this one, Okay, not this one. I want to. So we were here like virtual environment. We were checking this one. So pip install. We have manage.py. I don't know what is this one. Okay, so I want to check whether we have how then we have used this one. Okay, so now let's use this Python, and then instead of this one I want going to import something like what we say from Python. We are going to import that one. So first of all I'm going to give something like not this one. Okay, so now I'm going to import like from app import db. I'm going to do something like that. So first of all I'm going to from the app, then I'm going to import the database. Sorry, import the. I'm going to import the db, something like this, and it's importing. So now I'm going to give something like db dot create, and then I have to give underscore all, and I have to give some brackets. I don't remember. So let's give this brackets again. Anyhow, now I'm going to give something like this, and then let's exit it, etc. Now let's check that are we having any. Okay, so now we have to-do.db. So now right now we are having this one, what we say. So now we are having this database. So now I'm going to remove this. Let's reload this. Okay, so now I'm going to make this one some smaller, and in the code this one I'm going to cancel this one, copy. Now we don't have anything in this one, so when we are clicking on this execute, so still now we are not getting any other stuff right now. Now let's do one thing here onto our website. Here I'm going to 120 this one. Okay, and here I'm going to give like what we say my or YouTube my YouTube. So as you can see here we don't have any content. So as you can see here we are getting something like this, like SNO serial number. So now I'm going to give like GLLO hello, and instead of this one GLLO hello. So as you can see here we are getting the content, we are getting the time, we are getting SNO, we are getting all of this stuff. Okay, so now what I want to do is instead of this one here it's better, but here I want to change the submit button when I press, as I said you. So as we are getting here on the search here, so I also want to get something like this. So now I want here some two buttons like what we say delete and update, something like that. So now I'm going to close, and in the bootstrap now let's search for the buttons. Wait a second, in the index.html I'm just going to close, not delete this. So now instead of the submit I want to give here, as I said. So this type of buttons I want. Okay, now this primary we have bt and outline primary. Let's check here. Okay, now let's copy this, and I'm going to copy this one. Okay, and then instead of this one I'm going to paste this, and then if I reload, now let's reload this. Okay, now so I want to do something like this. So now if I click here I should get something submit. I want to do something like this, all of this stuff. Now let's do one more thing. Let's delete this. Now I'm going to delete this one. Wait, this database I'm going to delete because all there is stuff. So now after some time I'm going to do something like I'm going to give there some buttons like update or delete. So now in the here this one I'm going to open again one more PowerShell, and here I'm going to type like python, give here python this one, and then here I should get from app I'm going to import the db, something like this. So now I'm going to give like, so import dbs I have to give something like db dot, okay, so db dot create I have to give db dot create underscore, then I have to give all, then brackets, then let's exit this one. Now let's delete this, we don't need this right now. So now right now what I want to do is on this website, we don't need this one. So here I want is some button. Okay, right now what I want to do is here I should get something like there I should get something like I want to get some buttons, like I should get update or delete, something like that. So now let's search here, and I want this type of this small button. Okay, so let's open our VS Code here. First of all, before this one, let's copy this first one. Okay, so first one only. So now I'm going to copy this one. This I'm going to copy this whole line, and let's open our VS Code, and in this, wait a second, I'm going to make this one smaller, and in the index.html, for doing this I need a column, right? So for that I'm going to I need to copy this, or so let's open our VS Code here. First of all, before this one, let's copy this first one. Okay, so first one only. So now I'm going to copy this one, I'm going to copy this whole line, and let's open our VS Code, and in this, wait a second, I'm going to make this one smaller, and in the index.html, for doing this I need a column, right? So for that I'm going to I need to copy this, or copy, and then I'm going to paste this. Instead of this I'm going to paste actions. Okay, and then below this actions we have this date created, we have n4, we have all of this stuff, but I am going to do one more thing. I'm going to copy this one, what we say, this td tag, I want this. Now I'm going to paste this one. Okay, so now instead of this one I'm going to remove it. Okay, so I'm going to remove this stuff, and then I'm going to paste that buttons here. So I'm going to open sorry, okay, so I'm going to copy this buttons, copy, and let's paste this. So now I am going to remove this, so I don't want this one. So now we have something like button, we have all of this stuff, but instead of this one I am going to remove this, and here I'm going to give something like a health. Okay, then I'm going to give something like a href. Okay, and it's equals to something like I want to give, so there I want to do options like update and delete, right? So I'm going to give in this one, I'm going to update update, and then I'm going to make here some changes, and again, okay, again I'm going to use this one, these brackets. So now let's give to do dot sno. Okay, then update to do dot sno, I have this one. Now it's right. So now then we have the button class, then we have the all of this stuff same, but we have this small button. So instead of this, and now I'm going to remove this button, I'm going to remove, and instead of this one I'm going to give update, something like this. Now I want to use one more thing. As I said you, I want this type of button like copy, I want this type of button, as I said you. So we have this primary, so I want to copy this btn online primary, and then I'm going to paste this one. So I want here something like btn control shift, I'm going to paste this one, paste this. Okay, sorry, I have done some mistake, like I should copy this. Okay, copy this, and then I'm going to paste this one in the place of this one, same. Okay, so now we have like btn online primary, we have this time kind of stuff. Now let's reload. Okay, to do is undefined, so somewhere we have done this error. Okay, so now let's use this to do only, and now so that's what I want, this type of this thing, like I have this type all of. So now as you can see here, we have this update, we have this update, we have this we are getting the think something like this. Now update. Now we don't have anything. Now it's working, but I have to make this some changes here, like okay, anyhow. Now I'm going to copy this line also, like this. I'm going to press here in till the end, shift end, and copy, paste here, sorry, paste here, and I'm going to go on the home. I'm going to remove. Okay, so her update. So instead of this one, I'm going to use here delete, delete, and here also I'm going to use the to-do.sno type button. I want to update. Now here instead of this one, I want to use something like delete, delete something. I want this in the capitals. Okay, so anyhow guys, this is working. Now let's reload our page. And one more thing, so here I want some space. So we are not getting some space, like update delete. So we want here some space. So for that one, btn sm we have, let's use here mx, so which will make some space. Okay, so I'm going to give it like mx1, let's give mx3. Okay, and mx3, yeah, this 3. Okay, now let's reload. Okay, now okay, so we have this lot of space. I don't want this. What if we give something like mx1 here also? So now let's reload this. Okay, now okay, so now this is the one, this is the thing that I want from the time. So we are getting something like delete, update, and we are getting all of this stuff. So now what we have to do is we have to make this into the action. So we have to do all of this stuff. Okay, so anyhow guys, that's all for this video. So please, if you have any questions, please give it in the comments below, and make sure subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching this video, and in the next video we are going to do a lot of other stuff, like we are going to make this into actions, and we will try to deploy this app onto the, what we say, onto the Heroku. Okay, so anyway guys, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and thank you, bye.